Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. First thing we'll do, let me turn on my microphone. Yeah. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and I'm sharing my screen right now. So anytime you see this pops up, it means we're sharing a screen that's sharing a screen that's sharing a screen. But this is the this is the actual Blackboard site for IoT 194, which is Introduction to Programmable Logic Controllers. And so you'll be able to learn about PLCs during this term and also how to program them. In this term, IoT 194, we're going to use a programming application called RSLogix 500. This is the older application, which is still viable and still on the market. There's a lot of programmable controllers that's been programmed with this application. Unfortunately, there's not a certification available for RSLogix 500. In the INT 196 course, which comes up in Mini-Term 2, we'll move over to Studio 5000, which is or some people call it RSLogix 5000, which is the newest version of Allen Bradley's programmable application that programs their programmable controllers. And we will offer an NC3 certification in that on Allen Bradley PLCs, but that certification is built around RSLogix 5000. So if you want a PLC certification on Allen Bradley PLCs, which are the predominant programmable controllers in the United States, then you'll probably need to sign up for IoT 196. IoT 212, which is we offer a NC3 certification on Siemens PLCs, which are predominant in Europe, in the European market. But what's happened is since Mercedes has moved into our area, our service area, we have a lot of companies now that's using Siemens PLCs. So in IoT 212, we'll actually convert programs to run our Festo manufacturing line. We'll convert it over from Allen Bradley PLCs over to Siemens PLCs, and you'll also be able to get an NC3 certification on Siemens PLCs if you take those two classes, which would set you up. It'll be something that you could put on a resume that you not only have a degree from Lawson, but also you have an industry recognized credential from a third party besides us saying, what we taught y'all. So IoT 196 is being taught in a Mini-Term 2. So if you want to get that certification and play around with the new CompactLogix PLCs and also RSLogix 5000, then you probably need to sign up for that class, and it starts in March. So, but here's the website for the Blackboard site, and y'all know how to get here because y'all wouldn't be in this lecture if you didn't. Across the top, these are our main menus. This is the course calendar that we'll be dealing with. It should already be populated when we're going to have test 1, when we're going to have test 2, when we're going to have test 3. When the assignments are due. So assignments are due here. Monday, by the way, if you got any Monday classes that meet on Monday, Wednesday, the 18th is a holiday, and the class will have no classes, but it won't have anything to deal with us. And then, of course, what we have in this class, guys, is we've got 8 people that signed up for it, which means that we can social distance. Each one of you can have your own, you'll have a PLC trainer that you'll be able to use. We won't have to team up. So starting on the 26th, we'll come in and we will meet on campus. And odds are, if something don't happen, we will meet on campus for this class the rest of the semester. So you need to go ahead and plan for that, and that way, and I'm not saying we're planning on doing that, but something might happen and they might decide to close down and not bring any students on campus anymore, and then we'll have to switch back to a virtual environment. But right now, while we're doing these hybrid classes, we'll be virtual the first 2 weeks, and then on the 26th, we will come into campus. You'll come into campus and we'll take our first test, so we won't have to proctor it. And also, we'll let y'all be able to do one of y'all's first lab assignments too. So this is the calendar, and you can see all the way through the end of the semester when we're having our tests, when assignments are due. This is the last day to withdraw and get a partial refund, so that will be on February the 2nd. If you withdraw from a class after that, you don't get any money back. I don't know how much you get if you wait till that last day. And then also, and of course, things will add to this as we go along. So here would be when we have our final tests, and this is when we have our final exam. So we'll have our test 3 on March the 2nd, and we'll have our final exam on March the 4th. So that calendar's already out there. These are stuff that we already have when certain assignments are due during the semester. We don't do discussions, especially since we're going to meet on campus. This is where you go and look at your grade book, which should show you how you're doing in class as we move through the semester. This is where you could come and you could send messages to other students in the you can send messages to other students in the class. If you use this to send me a message, I'll only see it when I come into this site. I don't get any type of notification that I have a message on this site. So the best way to get in touch with me, of course, would be to send me email. So that's the 3 links, and what I'm going to discussions we're not going to do. This will bring you back to the home page. So this will bring you back to the home page where we was at. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to your view so you won't see all the instructor stuff that goes on. Okay, so as soon as this comes up, this should be exactly what you see when you come into the website. Of course, this is very, very important. This is where your course syllabus is going to be. Of course, this was the email I sent out, so this is just a welcome letter, but it's exactly the same letter that I sent out by and posted on announcements. This is Lawson State's policies and procedures, which you're going to have to do because you're going to have to agree to some of those things. This is the course syllabus. We'll come back and look at that in a little while. This is your time sensitive. This is required during the first week. So in this, we have a syllabus quiz that you'll do to make sure you read the syllabus. I got this idea when I went to college. Of course, our instructor didn't tell us we was going to have a quiz on the syllabus. He gave it out. This was a male teacher. And he gave us the syllabus out the first class, and then we lectured, we did all this stuff, and then he dismissed class. And then when we come back to second class, he gave us a quiz on the syllabus to see who read it. So you have an advantage in that you have a quiz on that syllabus that touches on some main points. Also, you're going to have to do some agreements that you're going to agree to the non-discrimination policy of the college, children on campus, smoking, dress code, that you're going to adhere to these policies while you're on campus. The policies are all inside this if you want to actually read the policies, they're inside this folder right here. This gives you the textbook for the course. So the textbook is Programmable Logic and Hardware Controllers, and then you have a laboratory manual that goes to this. If you take 196, then you'll use the same book and you'll use the same lab manual. If you don't take 196, then you could resell your book, but you won't resell your labs because you tear the labs out and turn them in. Not unless you find somebody that's very gullible and you sell a lab with a bunch of labs missing. Of course, in this class, you got to have a computer with internet access, a microphone, and a webcam. You got to have a face mask. So when you come on campus, as soon as you come on campus, if y'all hadn't been in, if you didn't take any classes last semester, The south gate, the one that's closest to the Bessemer Civic Center, it's locked permanently now. So when you come in what we call the north gate, or the gate with the red light, you'll be required to pull over, and either a security or a campus police will be out there, and they'll check your temperature. And if your temperature's okay, they'll give you a band that you put on and wear on your wrist for that day. And this will vary every day. You'll have to have a mask, or you'll have to wear a mask just about anywhere while you're on campus. And you gotta wear it properly. So I was looking at one of our instructors today. I'm not gonna tell you who it was, and of course they wore it with it below their nose. We're gonna be you're gonna be using our computers here while you're on campus. But if you want to back up your programs and everything, then you need your 2 GB flash drive, because y'all, if you dealt with media and stuff like that before, you're not the only ones that'll be using this computer during the program, and they might accidentally get in there and delete your programs. So I recommend that you use that flash drive or that thumb drive and just keep a copy of your programs that you write during the term on that. So required computer skills, which everybody seems to do okay on that, but you can read that. And then I don't know why they put this here, but basically it states that the Act says that we have to facilitate or help people, I said that wrong, or make these courses available to students with disabilities. But what you have to do is these disabilities have to be documented. And so what would happen is you would take your documents, and this is also in the syllabus, by the way. On this campus, you'd make an appointment with Miss Renee Herndon, or on the Birmingham campus, it's Janice. I'd have to go look at her. And you'd give her the documents, and then she would send me a letter telling me what we need to do to make you have the ability to succeed in this course. So that's basically what that says. So we'll come back and look at, so right now I'm just trying to step you. Very important first day. Instructor contact information shows you where I'm at. This is where we're going to be spending a lot of time in the course for assignments and activity and course content. So we have several folders in here. Here's our course assignments. So this course we have 5 assignments. And they show you the due date. So this is due, I think, by Sunday midnight. This would be due next week, and then these tell you the actual due dates, and they will also be on the calendar. So right now we have 6 assignments in the class. First week, this is going to tell you need to go out and take the syllabus quiz. You need to do the course assignment. So this is actually assignment 1 repeated. You need to take the quizzes. You need to do the agreements, and you need to do all that by the first week. What's very, very important, though, is this is what the college looks for, is that you submit that syllabus agreement. And we use that to verify your first week of your attendance. And then what we'll have to do the first week is we'll have to go into Banner and say that you were here, or even if you missed the class, but you go in and do that, then you still wouldn't be dropped from the course. So reference material. This is this has the PLC manuals. It's got a oops, did it open up? So it's got the lab procedures. It's got a dictionary of terms. It's got this chart right here that, by the way, you'll be able to use this on any test, all the tests during the semester. This tells us about RS Logic 500. This is the PLC. We have 2 programmable controllers that we use in this class. We have a newer MicroLogic 1100, which fortunately it looks like we are going to have enough of these for everybody to move to those. These are what I refer to hybrid PLCs, and we'll look at that. So they're expandable. The other PLC that we have for this class is the MicroLogic 1000. The MicroLogic 1000 is what we call a fixed PLC, which means it's not expandable. So this would be the difference between like a laptop or a tablet computer and then a desktop computer. So a desktop computer, you have the ability to upgrade that and change the memory and do what you want to, but a tablet you can't do anything with that. So whatever tablet you buy, that's what you end up with. So we'll look at those in the different categories of PLCs. But this is actually the actual instruction set. These are all the things that when we program these things that we can tell the PLC that we want to do. And this is RS Logic 500, which is the instruction set for the entire range of RS Logic 5, all the PLCs that are supported by RS Logic 500, which is the programming application. So when you look at this one, it might have instructions in there that the 1100 does not support. So we'll be probably spending a lot of time in this, or you'll be able to use this during class to look up and get references on these instructors. Symbols are very, very important. So this is where we can come in and look at symbols. This is the operating manual for the 1100 PLC. This is some rules as far as writing programs, the syntax, or how we put these instructions together without getting errors. And then we'll look at some logic, how to do logic with contacts. We'll look at that this semester, and this is the 5 basic logic gates. So these are reference materials that we use during the class. So this is actually the course content. We'll start off with an introduction to electricity. This course has no prerequisites, so some of y'all's had DC. If you've had DC, then you'll be a step ahead. If you've had AC, then you'll be a lot of step ahead. So we have the ability on the program controller, depending on the models that you buy, to run them off AC or run them off DC, or they can input AC or DC. So we need to have a understanding about that. Since we're going to be virtual. Virtual for this class and the next class, and then next week, what we'll do is we'll go directly. The next thing we'll do is we'll skip down to chapter 3 in the textbook, and we'll look at numbering systems. There should be enough information, even if you can't get your textbook by next class. There should be enough information in the PowerPoints plus what we do during the lecture where we could probably get you past this unit if you don't even have your textbook by this time, and it's highly likely that you won't have that. So we'll start off tonight, after we get through going through the website, we'll look at an introduction into electricity. This is not in the textbook anyway. This is just us learning a little bit about direct current and alternating current and different techniques or terms that you have to understand to connect devices to a program controller, either into them or out of them. And so we'll get a little knowledge on that. So even if you haven't had DC, or even if you hadn't had AC, this section right here will give you enough information so you can successfully get through this course. So these are the modules we're going to do. We'll be going all the way up through chapter 9 in the textbook. And then if you take ILT 196, we'll go in chapter 10 and we'll extend it. So it's basically the same stuff, but we will make some little modifications to the textbook to move it over to the RS Logic 5000 programming language. Here's our online resources. So this has, so I'm recording this right now. So this will take you to my YouTube channel. So if you miss a class, I record my lectures, but I don't upload them until Friday because it takes a little time to upload them, and my computer has to be turned on, and I can't do anything with it while it's uploading. This is where you can come and do a withdrawal from the class. So If things happen, and we know they do, and you cannot continue, or you can't successfully get through the class, then you need to withdraw from it. I cannot withdraw you from the class. So don't, on any of your classes, don't just stop coming. If you just stop coming and don't withdraw, then the instructor has to grade you like you were here. So that means if you don't take a test, you get a 0 on it. If you don't do a lab, you get a 0 on it. And at the end of the semester, the instructor has to give you a failing grade. If you withdraw from the class before the last day to withdraw, then you will get a W in the class. A W means that you don't have to, you'll still have to retake the course to get credit for it, but it does not hold against your grade point average. So it's just like you didn't take the class, but you'll have the knowledge, wherever you withdraw from the class, you'll have the knowledge that you can carry the next time you do take it. This takes us to the textbook. So this is a little easier than trying to manipulate Lawson State's website. So this should take you directly to where you can come in and you can find the course, and then you come up here and ILT, you'll select a department, ILT 194, and then you can just come and find material, and this will take you directly to the ISBN and everything about this book. So if you don't want to borrow, if you don't want to buy the book from the college, then what you can do is you can come up and you can get this ISBN number, and you can go to Goodhart Wilson or search for it on Amazon, and you might be able to get it cheaper than what our bookstore is selling for. But all that information will still be here. If you're going to buy it from the bookstore, like you've got a grant or something that's through the bookstore, then of course this would be the way that you can go. It's a pretty expensive book, $142, but what you got to understand is that if you take both semesters, then the cost per semester will be a lot less. You won't have to buy that. So this shows you all the information that you need to either get it through the college bookstore or get it from another source. The book, you can buy the book used, but don't buy the lab manual used, because what's going to happen, you buy the lab manual and you're going to get into it, and a lot of the labs are going to be gone, especially the first part. So we don't allow used lab books in this course. Renting it, you can't rent the lab book. You can rent the textbooks book if you want to, but don't rent the lab book, because you have to turn these labs in. So what you have to do is the pages on the lab book are perforated, and you have to tear them out and you have to turn them in. This $38 used. Be careful with the used, because if you get a used, then odds are the labs for PLC 1 are going to be gone out of it, so it's not going to do you any good. So $40 if you take PLC 2, then that's like $20 per class, which is a really good deal. So there's the links: e-withdrawal, bookstore, and then course evaluations. So that you'll get a text. You'll get an email somewhere toward the end of midterm 1 telling you to do your course evaluations. They'll give you a link, but you don't really need the link, because there's one available in the website. So there's the website, guys. Y'all got any questions about it? This should be pretty standard for all our courses that you take. This is one of the things that we did a lot of work on, where we can make the front of the websites look the same and put the same information in every class that we teach. So you should be easy to find that. So y'all got anything about the website? Y'all got any questions or anything y'all want to ask before we move on? Or are we okay? Okay. All right, good. All right, because let's go ahead and go back to start here, and we'll make sure we'll briefly go over the high points of the course syllabus. We're not going to do the whole course syllabus, because you're required to read this, and you're required to take a quiz on it, by the way. By the way, you notice when you open up the course syllabus, it automatically jumps into a different tab. So you can literally be taking the quiz and have the syllabus up on another tab to go and look up some of this stuff. So this is the course syllabus. It's really standard. So it tells you when the class meets. It tells you where we meet at. Does everybody know where the Ethel Hall building is on the Bessemer campus? Everybody okay? Okay, good. Okay, so this is me. My name's Rich Raymond. I go by Rich. You know, I'm not a big deal on Mr. or whatever that. This is my contact information. That's my email address. By the way, when you take the syllabus quiz, the first question is to provide a number that you can be reached at. The problem we have, and this happens all the time, is when we go into the records for the college, you'd be surprised how many phone numbers you have on record that are no longer good. And this happens every semester. So what we want to do is be able to contact you. We would like for this to be a sale so we can send you text. So the first question on the quiz is to provide a phone number where you can be reached. And then the next one is going to be, is it okay to send you text using that phone? What we have is that we use a texting application called Remind, where I can text the whole class or I can text one person in the class, and you can text me using Remind. I don't have to give you my cell phone number, and of course you're going to have to give me yours. But I don't have to give you my cell number. It pops up on my cell phone, but I don't have to give you my cell phone number. Once you take the syllabus quiz, like in the second week, I'll send out a mass text to the class. It'll come from Remind, and it'll probably say ILT 194. If you don't answer that text, then you will not be enrolled in this texting application, and I won't be able to send you texts about this class. So, and I don't give your phone numbers out, by the way, to anybody except people that's in the program. Or Miss Wilson, you know, she's the assistant dean for Career Tech. Every once in a while, she wants to contact those. What I also, at the end of the semester, I have a class called All AUT 100, and I call it, which we don't have that course, and I call it All Students. And what I do is I transfer that text in there, so if there's jobs that pop up and they say, you know, you've already graduated and your number hadn't changed, then I can still send you a text saying, hey, we've got a job available out there, and you can contact me to get that information. So watch out for that. It'll pop up, and every once in a while we'll get a student that don't reply to that text from 194, and then of course they don't get in that texting application. Here's course descriptions. Here's the requirements for the course. Of course, make sure you have a face mask when you come on campus. And like I said, the 26th, we will be on campus. And it looks like we've got a nice, if you hadn't been into 111 before, that's where the class will meet, H111. It's a nice big room, and we can definitely social distance, you know, 6 feet apart. And of course, and maintain masks, and we wouldn't have any problem in this class. So it looks like since the class is not real large, we will be able to meet on campus unless something comes up, like they close the college down. Of course, Blackboard, very important. This is what we're going to be doing this semester. This is how you're going to be graded, each part of your grade, how much they count towards your grade. So just doing all that first week, just doing this first week stuff is 4% of your grade, so that's almost a half a letter grade. Of course, this is one of your majors. You have to make at least a C to match a major course. So all the courses that you take in either ILT or AUT programs you'll need to make at least a C. This talks about hybrid courses, and this is Miss Renee Herndon's contact information if you cannot wear a mask for some reason on class. Test 3, we have 3 tests during the term. We normally don't give makeup tests, but with what's going on, we got 2 reasons we would give you a makeup test. That's one, if you're documented that you've been exposed to the infection or you come down with COVID-19. If you have those documents, then we will allow you to make this test up when you come back on campus. If you can't make it up, so let's say you can't make up the final exam. So at the very end of the semester, you come down with COVID-19 and you can't make test 2, or you can't take test 3, or you can't take the final exam. Well, what I'll have to do is I'll give you an I in the class, which stands for incomplete, by the way. And what that does, it allows you to make up these tests the first 3 weeks of the summer term. So you'll be able to come in during the summer term and retake those tests if if you're documented with a case of COVID-19. So there are some situations where we can give makeup tests now. Usually we don't do that because we usually drop the lowest test scores. But and also if you get called up in the military, we've had that happen. Why we added that is we actually had a person that got called up. He was in the reserves and he got called up and was deployed during this. But what was nice is that we were doing virtual classes, so his sergeant actually let him sit in on the class, and his sergeant actually proctored his tests when he took them. But this would be a reason where when you come back, we would have to allow you to make up the work. First week quizzes and agreements. Y'all know these are all due by Sunday, which is I think the 16th, I think. Midnight Sunday, all your first week quizzes and everything are due. Labs. We have a lot of labs in this class. You'll see that when you get your lab book. We're going to go all the way through counters and timers. We got a lot of labs to do. The labs are pretty neat. They start off real fundamental. They show you everything to do. And then as we move through the course, they'll start saying, okay, we want you to develop a program to do this. So like I said, we go all the way through counters and timers, which I think is chapter 9 in the textbook. There's no scheduled time to make up lab. We've never had that. In fact, we always we usually in this class have to drop certain labs that nobody in the class has time to get to. So toward the end, we'll start telling you, these are the labs you have to do in the class. And then if we got labs that nobody in the class can get to, then those classes will be dropped. But same reason. So if the last 2 weeks of the course you come down with COVID-19 and you have documents to prove it, then by George, what we'll do is we'll give you an I in the class, and then we'll let you come in and make those labs up during the summer term. We'll schedule a time for you to do that. Final exam, this is the breakdown for your grades. This talks about absenteeism. This class, if you miss a bunch of classes, an 8-week term, guys, if you miss classes, you're going to be in trouble, guarantee. Withdrawal is saying I cannot withdraw you from the class. So I had one of my students in my other class that I'm teaching. When it got to the syllabus quiz and says the instructor will automatically drop you from the class if you stop attending, and they answered true, and that is false. I cannot do that. When you come in late, you need to let the instructor know that you're here. I call roll once, and once I do attendance, my brain is not on attendance anymore. My brain is on the class. You show up, you come in, I'm up there lecturing, I see you come in, but I'm not thinking about doing roll anymore. I'm thinking about teaching my class. So you need to make sure when we take like the first break or whatever, you need to come up to my desk and you need to say, Rich, I'm here. You need to get me on the roll. If you leave early, you need to let me know that you've left the class. That's for safety concerns. So if we had a fire break out in the building and you snuck out of my class and I didn't realize you were gone, we get out in the parking lot and I call roll, you're not here, somebody's going to have to come back into the building and look for you. And you would feel pretty bad if they came back into the building looking for you and you got hurt. So are you asking a question? Somebody asking a question? Yes, no? Okay. Somebody must have unmuted their microphone. Plagiarism, this is doing other people's work and claiming it as yours. So don't cheat on labs, guys. I mean, I'm just as simple as it probably can be, especially when we get into doing labs where you got to do your own design. It's almost, unthinkable on programming. I used to teach a programming class on computers, built writing applications. And there's so many different ways to do the same thing when you write programs. So if I ever saw a program that was exactly the same, I knew it was copied. I knew right off the bat because I knew the odds of that is almost impossible of having exactly the same thing done the same way. So don't cheat, guys. If you don't know how to do something, then you need to get aid from me and I need to help you. When you cheat, all you prove you can do is cheat. You don't know what you're doing. So don't cheat in the class. Don't copy other people's work. Don't go up and I don't mind. And we got to be real careful with social distancing, guys. So it doesn't bother me if you talk things over with another student on how you do that or get hints, but don't go back and just make a copy of their program. Don't do that. So. This is the quorum, texting in class, sleeping in class. I don't really like that, so that was in there. Course concerns. This is pretty important. So if you got a problem with the class, then don't go on Lawson State's website and submit a document saying you got concerns on the class, because it's not going to go anywhere, because the first thing you're supposed to do is talk to the instructor. The second thing you're supposed to do is talk to the instructor's boss. So if you got an instructor, if you got a problem with, Mr. Foster or Mr. Sanders or Miss Bush or Mr. Burnett or Mr. Wade, then you'd come talk to me. If you got a problem with me, then you probably need to make an appointment with the Miss Wilson. She's my supervisor, because I'm the department chair. So you need to talk to Miss Wilson about your problems you're having with the class and with me. And then the third thing you would do is you would actually go onto a Lawson State's website, and all the way you go to My Lawson Campus, not My Lawson, but My Lawson Campus. And I think the very, very bottom icons down there allows you to submit a formal complaint about the course or about your instructors, and that don't just apply to me. This is why I didn't understand why they put the American Disability thing on the website when it should be part of every syllabus. Anything else? Discrimination or harassment. We don't discriminate or harass in our class. Especially this. We had a problem up in the welding program where last semester, where we had some students get into it right outside on campus, and they were harassing each other. And of course, they were suspended from the college. So don't do that. American Disability Act, and this is basically what we got over, which says if you've got a documented disability, then you need to talk to Miss Renee Herndon and get that taken care of. Yeah, somebody needs to mute their microphone. So I'm going to go here and... Yeah, thank you, Mario. Some of y'all on today classes, we're just going over the same stuff. I was on the syllabus, yeah. Cell phone, pagers. I know most people don't have pagers anymore because your cell phone is your pager now. All it says is you just need to turn it off or put it in silent mode. Acceptable use says when you come on campus, all this equipment that you're going to be dealing with doesn't belong to you, it belongs to us. So you don't do things on it, you don't mark on them, you don't change anything on the computers, you use that. Children on campus, and then notes. Basically it says, if you begin failing the class, you need to make sure you schedule an appointment with an instructor to see if we can, do whatever we can to get you to pass it. And this y'all can come up here and read it. Of course, syllabus quiz and acknowledgement, you need to make sure you go ahead and do that. I would do it as soon as possible so this don't slip up on you, because everybody's are going to be due by Sunday. So all your classes, you should go ahead and do that before then. But that's basically just touch base on the course syllabus. Does anybody have any questions on the syllabus for the class? We had a instructor that came from I think it was Jeff State or Shelton, and he said, "Man, y'all syllabuses are long." And I said, "Well, the college wants to make sure that we cover all the bases. So if you do something, we can say, well, it's in the syllabus, right? And you say you read the syllabus, so okay." All right, guys. So let's go ahead and let's take a 10-minute break. Or let's take a break until 6:30, and then we'll start into an introduction to electricity. So if nobody's got any questions, then I'm gonna go ahead and start. I'm gonna go ahead and unshare my screen if I can find it. Here we go. All right, 10 minutes, guys. I'm sorry, till 6:30, and then we'll start in on the introduction to electricity.